guys, this is Lord Chael speaking on behalf of our show sponsor, Established Titles. Established Titles is a project based on a Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lords and ladies. They allow you to buy as little as 1 square foot of dedicated land so you can officially call yourself a lord or a lady. Established Titles is not just about your ego. You also get to do some good. In addition to your new fancy title, Established Titles supports global charities like One Tree Planet and Trees for the Future to help with the afforestation effort. Your title pack gets you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land in a private estate in Scotland. Your certificate features a unique plot number where you can see the exact location of your land. And right now, Established Titles is holding 200 plots of land right next to mine. So come join me in the Bad Guy Inc. Kingdom. Getting this certificate even allows you to officially change your name to Lord or Lady. Put it on your credit card, put it on your plane tickets, or if you're so inclined, put it on your dating profile. Makes for a great last-minute gift, and there's even couples packs that come with adjoining plots of land. Established Titles is having a great limited-time sale. Go to establishedtitles.com/Chael to save 10% off today. Remember to use the promo code Chael, or just click on the link below. Is it time to congratulate Suga Sean? I'd like an answer to that, because nobody's told him good job. There isn't one article out there that's told him good job. You guys watching this right now, you've got Instagram, you've got the Facebooks and the Twitters. Some of you dorks probably still have MySpace. Have you gone on there and sent out a message? Have you told him good job? I literally haven't heard that yet. And I don't come to scold you guys, I just come to make a point, because you know what happened to Suga Sean that I didn't even realize? I haven't missed a day, guys, right? I bring you guys 5 pieces of content every day, on time, every time. I've been in here since the fight. I never talked about this because I didn't know what happened, which is he is now ranked number 1. Cheeto Vera and Sean O'Malley, they're never going to get it right. They're going to leave this sport, and they're still not going to be friends, these two, right? They're just not going to get it right. Cheeto Vera came out and said Sean should get the title fight. He says, Sean's very good. He's not as good as you guys say. I wish you'd say more things about me. I'm adding a little bit to Cheeto's statement. He said, however, he just fought the legit number 1 contender, and he beat him. That makes him the number 1 contender. Give him his fight. That was a badass move by Cheeto. It really was. That was a cool move by Cheeto. Now, I go back and look, guys, you might know this. This might be old news for you. This came out 2 days ago. I missed it. They moved Sean O'Malley 10 spots in the rankings. He is now ranked number 1 in the world. Sean O'Malley is ranked in front of TJ Dillashaw. Just for perspective for you. I don't believe Henry Cejudo is eligible for the rankings, which means Henry Cejudo could come from unranked to title fight. Sean O'Malley's ranked number 1. Now, I thought that was a very nice tip of the hat. I think people have been very hard on Sean O'Malley, and they blamed him for things that are outside of his control. Not fighting ranked guys, making too much money, getting too much attention, being too popular. I mean, they've really blamed him for those. As though Sean had taken something from somebody else, or as though Sean had anointed and had the power to put himself in that spot. He had none of those things. He's a dirty, rotten cage fighter that in between fights markets his next fight. He's a guy that studied the system and then put a plan together and went out there and executed. None of these things were Sean's fault. Now, for the media to put him as number 1, and let me tell you why I just said media. I'm reading about these rankings. Now, I don't know anything about the rankings. I mean, I truly don't, but neither do you. I don't know if that's a paid group. I don't know if that's a paid board. I would think to some extent you would have to be. Because they come out every Tuesday morning, is it 9 a.m. Pacific time? Every Tuesday night, just to have that level of organization, just to get everything together to tally up, just to make sure that your phone calls, your emails, or however it is you're doing this, to make sure that you have the collective body and those things get returned and turned in on time, you probably got to pay a guy, right? Probably got to pay a group of people. I'm making that up. I don't actually know it, but I was told that it was a group of media members are allowed to submit who they think. Now, that is very in line with other sports. A number of other sports, you will just take prominent media members, they will get a vote. We tally it up and there's your rankings. Okay, that sounds right to me. I haven't seen a headline out there that said, Sean, good job. So now we're being led to believe that a group of media has turned in such high cards that he moves 10 spots, goes from number 10 to number 1. They didn't think to write an article. They didn't think they should maybe write a correction piece. They don't think maybe there's an apology. Hey, I had him at number 10. I didn't realize he can beat the other 9 guys. Find it very interesting. The members of the media who've yet to write a positive article on Sean, in the dark of night, submitted an absolute admittance that we have had this wrong and we're going to correct it now and put him at number 1, but have yet to write the article. I just think that's interesting. Observation. And generally it doesn't go this way, by the way. I like what Cheeto said. Hey, forget whatever you think about him. He just beat the number 1 contender. He's now the number 1 contender. I like that. I like that the media said, hey, forget it. We've had this wrong. We had this wrong the whole time. He's number 1. I have no problem with correcting something. And generally, this is not the way that works. The whole reason that this is making big news is because generally the media won't correct it. If number 10 takes out number 1, they won't compliment number 10 and admit that they were 10 off. They'll say they had the wrong number 1. Oh, we were just a spot off here. Yeah. You see, Jan should have been here, and this guy should, and this guy would have beaten number 10, and all of our rankings are good. I mean, generally, there's a real justification for it. And you see that in all walks of life, right? Generally, they will always have to justify why and what it is they did. They didn't do that in this case, and they moved him to number 1. So what do you want to do with it? How come I don't see the articles out there? And how come if this is a poll of the media, why are they putting articles and letting the narrative that Henry Cejudo is going to swoop in Perth and take the title shot? Why are they not backing the guy? They did it in the quiet of night. They did it in the dark of night. However they're submitting these things, over an email, an online poll, a form of some sort, a group phone call, a Zoom meeting. They did it there. How come they're not doing it publicly? Why? Why are they quietly saying we had Sean wrong by 10? He's now number 1. We fixed it, and not saying he should be fighting for the title next. As a matter of fact, bringing somebody in who they didn't rank at all. Should Henry have been ranked? Is that what the problem is? Henry is not eligible for the rankings. Once you're removed, I believe it's for 12 months, and you're not eligible to come back. That's a new rule. They put it in. I mean, again, we're making these things up as we go, but that is the current reason. I'm just sharing that with you. Nobody would argue if Henry was to step in. But there needs to be some kind of a battle, and there needs to be some kind of a fight over here. The one thing Sean cannot end up with is a rematch with Jan. Now, that's unlikely to happen because Jan doesn't know how to do that. If Jan knew how to do that, he would already have a massive storm brewing for that rematch. He just doesn't. And Jan put out a message on Twitter. It said, F the judges. Okay. That's great. That's simple. That's right to the point. I have no problem. He's telling his story, which is I don't agree with the judges. The judges have screwed me. I get the whole thing. I'm into it. But Daniel Cormier took that and went and told the world that Jan is thinking about maybe not coming back. Now, that isn't Daniel's problem. If Daniel's hearing about that and Daniel's got his ear to the grindstone and Daniel can come out and Daniel can report that, okay, great, Daniel's done nothing wrong. But when Jan hears that the big bear is out there saying he may not come back, Jan has now got to step in. It is a rule in politics. If the opponent is ever lying about you, you must correct the record. And Jan didn't correct the record. Why would he let that be out there? He could get a rematch with Suga Sean, who's now the number 1 contender and has the number 1 ranking. He could get that rematch. Now, time's ticking. He's almost missed that shit, but he let Daniel Cormier come out and say he's thinking about maybe doing something else for a living, maybe moving on for a career. Guys, maybe I'll wake up on the moon tomorrow. There's no statement that isn't true if you include the word maybe. But that's for Jan to correct. You know what? I don't give Jan a fair shake, by the way. I truly don't. I'll admit, and I don't know why I'm hard on him. I am impressed by him, and I do like him, and he seems a pretty good guy. I don't mean to come out and always be, just when I see a guy get this close. When I see a guy this close and just let it go, a guy could get a rematch against the number one contender who has the number one ranking that the whole world could get behind. A guy could get that, but instead, he dangles, I might go and do something else. You can see where that'd be frustrating for me. And we all go through that even as adults. You remember being a little kid. You're in the 3rd grade. You got an art project. You're doing your little art project, and you got Lindsay and Justin sitting next to you. And then you show them theirs, and you show them yours, and yours is really good. And then you say to them as you show it to them, there you go, yeah, mine's terrible. Just so that they'll tell you how good it is. Oh my God, why do you think that? No, that's beautiful. You stayed in the lines. I love how you did this. We've all done that. We just did it as children. But now sometimes you see adults do it. Like, Jon isn't actually thinking about moving on. Jon isn't thinking somebody's going to come grab him and boost him up. Now, Jon doesn't think that he just wants to be told, hey, you won, you should have won, this wasn't right. Doesn't have anywhere else to go. Doesn't have anything else he can go and do. What's he going to put down on a resume? What are you talking about that Jon might go and do something else? He just needs a little sunshine blown up his ass. We all need that sometimes. And I don't mean to be hard on Jon. I don't mean to not give him a fair shake. But to let Cormier go out and tell the world that he's going to leave, not to correct the statement because he actually enjoys that, when all he had to do was push and do some blowback and get a rematch for the title shot, come on. You can see where that would irritate a guy like me.